am I filming at 10 p.m.? Why am I filming without pants? I mean, it's a dress, so... Hey, it's Jay, and I'm here today with another top 5 video. Today I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 favorite spoken word poems and performances, and I will include a brief clip of them, but then in the description I will include the link to the full videos, which you should definitely check out because they are all amazing. So number 5 is If I Should Have a Daughter by Sarah Kay.
If I should have a daughter, instead of mom, she's gonna call me Point B. Because that way she knows that no matter what happens, at least she can always find her way to me. And I'm gonna paint the solar systems on the backs of her hands. So she has to learn the entire universe before she can say, oh, I know that like the back of my hand. And she's gonna learn that this life will hit you hard, in the face, wait for you to get back up just so it can kick you in the stomach. But getting the wind knocked out of you is the only way to remind your lungs how much they like the taste of air. There is hurt here that cannot be fixed by Band-Aids or poetry. So the first time she realizes that Wonder Woman isn't coming, I'll make sure she knows she doesn't have to wear the cape all by herself. Because no matter how wide you stretch your fingers, your hands will always be too small to catch all the pain you want to heal. Believe me, I've tried. And baby, I'll tell her, don't keep your nose up in the air like that. I know that trick. I've done it a million times. You're just smelling for smoke.
In case you couldn't tell, she performed this at a TED concert, at a TED conference where she talked about spoken word and writing and stuff. And I love Sarah Kay. She's probably is the first spoken word artist that I really discovered and started listening to because I love her poems so much. There are other poems I like by other there are other spoken word poets that I've listened to several other stuff before, but she's the one where consistently I like her poems. Number 4, Why Are Muslims So?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be upon you, who goes home and kisses your mother on her cheek and tucks your little sister into bed.
Who probably doesn't know that the woman whose face you spray painted
Go home!
over is also a daughter.
A sister, a human, who refuses to believe that even though she was born and raised in this country, her modesty and ideology make her foreign, alien, dangerous.
A threat to freedom.
The very freedom you're stripping her of. May peace be upon you,
who plays Call of Duty to practice being a soldier, so the life of the enemy is laid upon the buttons of your controller.
Because you don't want to see what happens to little Muhammad once he grows older, so you're practicing for the day you can finally get some closure.
And just because the Muslims threatened you, you give us all the cold shoulder, knocking us all out like we're the pins, and you're the bowler.
May peace be upon you, who takes your daughter's hand and crosses the street when you see a bearded man about to pass you. A man who's just returned from the mosque, where he knelt to the ground and cried as he prayed for his father's health. But in your eyes, he's probably a rapist, scum of the earth.
Evil to the point where just sharing the same sidewalk with him will taint your child's
milky white innocence.
This was performed by a couple teenagers at some youth thing. The name was on the video. And it's these two Muslim girls talking about stereotypes and misconceptions about Muslim people, and I love how sassy it is, how needed that poem was, and I love how they kind of diss the people that held the event. Be like, yeah, instead of, because we have a holiday right now, but you don't respect that, which is not good. Number 3 is Somewhere in America.
Here in America, in every single state, they have a set of standards for every subject, a collection of lessons that the teacher's required to teach by the end of the term.
But the greatest lessons you will ever teach us will not come from your syllabus.
The greatest lessons you will ever teach us, you will not even remember. You never told us what we weren't allowed to say. We just learned how to hold our tongues. Now somewhere in America there is a child holding a copy of Catcher in the Rye, and there is a child holding a gun.
but only one of these things have been banned by their state government. And it's not the one that can rip through flesh.
It's the one that says fuck you on more pages than one. Because we must control what the people say, how they think.
And if they want to become the overseer of their own selves,
then we'll show them a real one. And somewhere in America, there's a child sitting at his mother's computer reading the homepage of the KKK's website. And that's open to the public. But that child will have never read To Kill a Mockingbird because his school has banned it for its use of the N-word.
Maya Angelou is prohibited because we're not allowed to talk about rape in school.
We were taught that just because something happens doesn't mean you are to talk about it.
I don't remember if I first saw this video of the actual performance or if it was during, like, on some talk show, but I love this because it's so feminist, and the, as a female that grew up in the US, luckily I didn't encounter all of these things, like, with on the subway and stuff, but it could still hit home. It's like, yes, I have experienced this to a degree, and I've seen other girls experience that, and it's just, like, it just really hit home as, like, that I can relate with. Number 2 is Origin Story by Sarah K. and Phil K.
It started with a sweater.
I was looking fly. First day of college orientation as a freshman, and I'm the type of guy who's always trying to make a good impression.
He looked like a tool. And it's the first week of school, so I've got people to meet and things to try. I don't have time to waste on this guy loitering backstage at a talent show.
It started with a freshman talent show, a chance to showcase what I know about spoken word and poetry, try to get some people to notice me.
It started with a technical difficulty.
Some sort of delay.
Somebody's iPod track wouldn't play.
So I'm stuck waiting backstage when I notice this girl.
And he walks over, stupid sweater and all. There was nowhere to run. Backstage was too small.
I'm so nervous about going on stage that I decide to strike up a conversation.
Oh, sorry, I completely got ahead of myself. I totally skipped introductions. My name is Sarah K.
My name is Phil K. I'm from California.
Born and raised in NYC.
Let's see, fun fact about me.
My mom is Japanese and my dad is Jewish. Not a common combination, but I think it's kind of cute. People call me Japanese.
Japanese.
Ashkenazi, kamikaze.
And come December,
Hanukkah and Christmas.
I don't remember the year exactly I discovered this. I was on Tumblr because I saw it on Tumblr for the first time. It must have been about 2014 or 15, maybe 13. And I discovered this. I was like, oh, I've never heard of spoken word poetry. Okay, I'll listen to it. And it was the most amazing thing I've ever heard. Like, this is one of the coolest poems you will ever hear because the chances of what happened to those two happening is 0 to none. Like, that is a 1 in a billion chance happening, and it's amazing. And my top one is For Teenage Girls by Clementine von Radix.
Advice for teenage girls with wild ambitions and trembling hearts. When Anne Frank was 13 years old, she disappeared behind a bookcase with her family and everything hunted, writing an ocean into a diary when they found her. She was treated as nothing more than a spark above a burning bush. Despite this, she still said, I really believe people are good at heart. And when Joan of Arc was 14, she heard a voice calling her to greatness. When the doubters called her crazy, she did not listen, grabbed her sword, grabbed her shield in her 2 good hands. She was the maid of untamed patriotism, born to reunite a country like a broken heart. Malala was 15 when a man climbed onto her school bus and insisted her sisters name her enemy when she did not hide. She was shot 3 times in the temple. 3 years later, in an ocean of survival and no apology, she stood before the United Nations and told them how her country was burning. When Mary Shelley was 16, she invented science fiction.
I believe it was junior year of my creative writing class that I had in high school, and we were going through a spoken word unit. It might have been in senior year, actually. Anyway, and we were listening to a couple poems. This was the first one, and I just loved how feminist it was, and I loved each example that Clementine included, and I felt like it really motivated me to do what I want to do, and I just think every teenage girl needs to listen to it. It's probably my favorite ever. So that's all I've got for today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell so you get notified whenever I upload. I upload every Wednesday and Saturday, and don't forget to check the description for my social media accounts and for the full videos of the performances I mentioned today. Please check them out, they're all amazing, and I will see you in another video. Thanks for watching. Bye.